You're listening to the Cantina Cast, your home for thought-provoking Star Wars talk. Join Albert and Jonesy in breaking down the latest news, trailers, movies, and of course, your favorite characters from a galaxy far, far away.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cantina Cast. My name is Albert Padilla, and we are broadcasting live from Star Wars Celebration here in Chicago. This is episode 273, the Rise of Skywalker teaser reaction, and joining with me, fresh from viewing the trailer with me at the celebration stage, is Jonesy. Jonesy, welcome.
Thanks. The goosebumps have finally settled down a little bit. The arms, the hair on my arms, starting to lay down just a touch. So the excitement's starting not wearing thin at all, or wearing out. We're wearing out.
We were deathly quiet after the trailer. We were walking back, and I told Jonesy, I said, just give me a second. I said, if I don't talk to you right now, it's because I've got a lot to process. So
he did. He's just head down, shaking his head, like trying to process it all. It was a pretty magical moment to view. Yeah.
To view it. But we do have a special guest with us today. If you've seen the trailer already, then you know there is a new presence, maybe a rebirth of sorts for a particular person. So welcome back once again, rebirth from the ashes, the Emperor himself. Thank you, Michael Rondo, for being here with us.
Oh, this is great to be here. I got the pleasure of watching the trailer with Joe, Tuan, and everybody up, Will as well, up at the celebration, not the stage there. What do you call it? Where the Star Wars show is. Yeah. And that was electric. It was crazy. We had great seats. We could see the screen. It was great. I don't know what to think. I got a lot to process. I can't even. I had so many questions, and I lost my mind when, of course, my buddy Palpatine. You hear that cackle, and it was awesome. It was amazing.
Yeah. So
and then he came out on stage.
Yeah, and said, "Roll it again."
And that was just
roll it again.
Yeah, that was unexpected. We just looked at each other when it happened.
Yeah,
it was crazy. I got all choked up.
So before we get into the trailer, so I know you just shared that experience. How was that? Was that room completely packed?
Oh yeah,
at that point?
I posted some stuff on Instagram. I think Joe did as well. I might have a few more pictures I'll post later. You could see the whole convention on that floor was just around those giant TVs. We were lucky enough to get there early enough where and Joe and I, funny, ironically, I got a picture in the Emperor's chair before the whole thing, which, is just fitting.
We said, finally.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they said, go do it now. There's not many people. So I was like, all right, I'll go do it. So we did that. Then we just kind of casually walked over to the stage, and there wasn't a lot of people, but Will and Tuan wanted to do the Millennium Falcon photo op thing. Yeah. And we were like, nah, we're going to Joe and I wanted to stay here. We wanted the excitement and everything. And we did. It was the longest wait we ever had, and standing on the concrete floor, that was tough, but it was electric. Like everyone was, and like you guys, when it hit, like you see the Skywalker thing come up, or the Lucasfilm, everyone just, you get all that stuff. Crazy, yeah, everyone shut up. And then everyone was just blown away.
I didn't think people were going to shut up when the Lucasfilm came out, because they kept applauding and cheering almost until it went away, or right up until the last minute it went away.
Yeah. So Jonesy, since you were there at the celebration stage, what was that like for you watching the trailer and seeing it for the first time?
I think it lived up to the hype. It lived up to the expectations of having everyone around your elbow to elbow. We had Utini right next to us. We had friends just a couple sections over, and be able to mingle with everyone ahead of time, and then being able to see it in the eruption, and then Ian McDermott coming out. Yeah. That's things you can't
get that watching on your phone at home. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
You think you're mentally prepared for it, but you're just never quite ready for the actual event to happen. How about you?
Yeah. No, for me, it was the same experience, especially this kind of building up to it, right? We got to see the panel, and the first half of it, we won't spend too much time on here, but the first part of the panel I thought was pretty good. But then, once they brought out the All-Stars, they couldn't say anything.
Yeah,
so
exactly. That's usually how
takes a lot of the steam out of it, right? Yeah, so I think we were at that point, we really needed something to kind of bring our spirits back up, and that certainly did so when they announced it.
I did like the photos, though. They were bringing up the photos.
Yeah, well, that's what we wanted. We kept you could hear the audience upstairs where we were. They were like, come on, we want more of that. But we don't care what you're saying right now, because we know you're not going to give anything. So show us things,
Yeah, right. All right, so let's do this. Let's talk about the trailer. And maybe I thought what we could do is just kind of go, we won't go frame by frame, although I'd love to do that.
Yeah, no, that's for the in-depth thing.
We'll at least just kind of give some high-level thoughts on some of the things that we caught and we saw. So Jonesy, I'm going to turn it over to you first. So we get the opening shot of Rey.
Yeah, even before we see her, we get the breathing, which was Mike pointed out, very reminiscent of Force Awakens.
Last Jedi, yeah.
Oh, Force Awakens with Finn.
Oh yes, that's right. Actually,
So
all three of them.
Take
you're
all
right.
the way back to Force Awakens and
that's
the
right.
breathing of Finn. And I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it. It was interesting that they were doing. I kept saying to myself, "Can we get? Come on, give me. I don't want to hear. Let's see." But anyway,
Yeah. And then the first voice we hear is none other than Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, so Luke is back. Luke's still around. He never went anywhere, of course.
Well,
So, and we got 1,000. So, and you probably have this written down better than I do. 1,000 generations live in you now, but this is your fight. Yeah, it says we passed on all we know. Sorry, I skipped that first part of it.
Yeah.
So let me just start there. Do you think we're going? Was this were those lines done just for the trailer, or do you think we're going to get some aspect of Luke in here where he's kind of passing on this wisdom or talking to her, coaching her throughout the movie?
I think this is. It would be surprising if this was in the movie. I think it would be great if it was. You get Force Ghost Luke, but I think this is very much a trailer type of over a narration, if you will, of sorts, to bring us up to speed. I think it also it confirms that we heard this during the panel of the idea that some time has passed. Now, they wouldn't tell us how much time has passed. You can't tell how much time has passed either with the characters.
no, I would say like a couple of years.
It has. I mean, for them to have given her any kind of knowledge. And what was interesting, it was we. Right.
Yeah.
So we've got we. So we know there's Luke and Yoda, but has someone else also been contributing to that? You have Obi-Wan's or Deep.
Yeah,
You have other folks too, right?
Yeah, Anakin. A few others.
Is there an Anakin out there?
Well, we'll get into that a little later.
So one of the things too that just from the beginning, one of the things I really enjoyed, and we were talking about this as we were walking back, is the cinematography and what JJ does with it, right? He opens up with this kind of white landscape. We see the desert. It pulls back. It's almost kind of spinning. And then something's going to come into the shot. And much like with Finn popping up in the shot, he pops in this TIE silencer, right?
Yeah, it looks like a modified silencer. Yeah.
Yeah. And we get Rey. So, Mike, any idea why Rey would go to such extremes, such acrobatics in order to prove up? Is she trying to prove a point? Why would she jump backwards, turn away, jump backwards, and flip over the?
My immediate thought. Well, first off, that shot harkens back to The Force Awakens when we see her speeder going across the sky. In a sense, like it kind of just made me think of that. It wasn't exactly that, but when I saw that, and I said, well, there's two things that were going through my mind. First, when she ignites it, and I know it's Kylo coming down. I'm like, I'm hoping we're getting like this moment where she just cuts off the wing of his ship there, and we have this ultimate fight. But that isn't happening. So when she jumps and leaps over, I'm starting to say, all right, well, maybe they're teaming up, and she pulls Anakin or Darth Vader in Rebels when he's up on the TIE fighter there.
Jumps on there.
Yeah, and
piggybacks
it's
on.
that type of thing. And that would be pretty cool because they kind of hinted in the panel that there's this great evil. And of course, we get the laugh at the end. So what's the greatest evil? Obviously, Sidious.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, as we've heard speculation-wise, that there's some kind of a team-up thing. Again, and they've done it before in the past. So I don't know. It's very interesting.
I'm curious if that moment, I don't know, why it would be at that moment on the desert. It seems like there's some other screen or some other landscapes we got later on that might seem more appropriate. But is the climax of the film on the desert planet?
Well,
Yeah, it could be.
maybe, yeah.
Especially given her outfit too, right? So let's talk about really quickly the TIE silencer. You mentioned it right when the trailer came out. That was one of the first things I think you said was that silencer had looked like it had some armor on there.
Yeah, it had some red paint around the cockpit, and it looked like armor, like it had a
Modifications?
ball. Yeah, like it had a ball or something grabbing around it from the backside. Looked pretty neat. I thought it looked really slick.
Any doubt that that's not Kylo Ren in that?
They didn't show us his face. I think this is where it's interesting what Mike said. If they showed his face and it was his face, then team up mode. If it's his helmet, I think.
Well, they showed that shot where he's in the cockpit, right?
So they showed his arm. They showed some black gloves.
Yeah. All right. So,
But they did not show his face.
It's got to be him, right?
It's got to be. Or is it Sidious? No, I'm only kidding.
But but did we mask or did we not show the face intentionally in order to hide that surprise?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably.
So
There's always trickery in these trailers. So, like you said, and most of this we might not even see in the actual film. You know what I mean? Because we've seen that with the Last Jedi, The Force Awakens. We've seen that. That's a little trickery. I've said on the show many times that they actually film scenes just for the trailer to throw us all off. So
Right. So if we don't get a team up, then let's just assume, for the sake of argument, sake of discussion, that they actually do end up fighting each other. Is there more to that fight that we don't see? So he circles back around. Maybe she disables the TIE fighter. Personally, I would love to see Rey take out a vehicle like that. Just dismantle it completely, right? Kind of tear it down, kind of thing. But
I also did, just not to interrupt you, I thought we were actually, because they'd hinted on the panel, like I think it was Steven there, he hinted, is she going to pull a fighter
Star Destroyer
from the sky,
yeah.
which we've all wanted to see.
Right.
And I thought, well, maybe she's just going to do something like that, but she does the jump, which made me lead to the team up thing. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I'm hoping we do get to see that as well. Just because we've always wanted that from Luke, we never got it. But maybe we can live vicariously through Rey in some way there. Just going before we get more into the scenes here, some of the other things too. Just looking at again, this is JJ's style. We have I love the coloring. We started off with the white. It went to the blue planet that we'll talk about here in just 1 second, and then it flips over to the red, right? So it's got white, blue, red, white. I mean, it's just all visually, I think, captivating. So that was kind of cool. The blue planet, we see it. We get the shot of some kind of a spacecraft flying in off screen, and it doesn't look like anything we've seen before. Was there water? I think you mentioned that.
I don't think there was. It looks like an A-wing coming in, but yeah, it very much looked like the establishing shot from Gungan City on Phantom Menace of just the way that it came in and the way that it starts to, kind of uncover itself from behind the landscape. But it didn't look like it was underwater. It looked like it was just maybe at night and the lights were on in the city type of thing.
If it was the ocean, is it where the Death Star, whatever, well, we'll get to that when we get to that, but we're still trying to figure out where the heck the Death Star is, what that is and where that is.
Right.
Is that even part of that shot? Because it was dark, so I didn't get to see a good.
To me, it looked the same. They did look like, I mean, just from the lighting, right? Yeah. It looks like it could be a tie back to what we saw at the very last shot. So maybe that's them landing, because when they land, that's a pretty big spaceship. Yeah. And that last establishing shot before they pan over and we see what looks like something of a Death Star. There's a lot of people in that scene. You've got Chewbacca, you've got the 2 droids, you've got BB-8, Dio, the new one, Rey, Poe, and
Finn.
Was it Finn also?
Yeah, Finn was there.
Okay, so anyways, big crew, right? So they're going to have to come in on a larger ship. That makes sense. So I'd like to say I think it's probably one and the same.
Yeah.
All right, we get the next scene with Kylo Ren. So this was great. One, I still like his fighting style. It's very primal. It's very physical, right? It's chaotic to some extent. But more importantly, he body tackles.
Oh, he just like
pounds him down.
WWE move, boom! Like that was great.
I like that we got a little bit of the cross guard into the belly of the opponent there too.
Right.
So finally used for it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, any thoughts around who that poor sap is? There are we going to say it's somebody from Knights of Ren, or is it somebody that lives on this?
Well, he's got is there one of the First Order stormtroopers in the background of that shot?
Yeah, as that scene comes around, they're on Kylo Ren's side. It looks like they're all attacking the same direction, but it does look primitive. Like we were able to do a screen grab or we paused the screen and we had. It looked like he was carrying like this medieval type of sword or
like a club.
Yeah, club. Yeah,
it had like a metal hilt, but mostly wooden up on top.
Right. Yeah, it had like a sword type of shape, but you're right. It was not a metal blade of any sorts. So it was very interesting to see what it was. But yeah, the garbs and everything were also very leather-esque and not necessarily armor.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if I don't really want to dive into the Palpatine thing yet, but because he's the greater threat. Did he do something with the Knights of Ren where Kylo has to take them out again? I don't know. It's interesting. There's so many questions now that I have. I was blown away, actually.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised by all of it.
I would agree. This trailer, I don't know if it really answered anything, and that's probably what we come to expect from teasers, right? Because we don't get a whole lot of answers. We'll probably get more when the actual trailer comes out, but it probably opens up a lot more questions than it does answers for us. All right, so from there, we get to Kylo's helmet. And so this had been long rumored before we finally see it. Kylo looks to be reestablishing his helmet for some reason, which we don't know. You want to take the first shot, Jonesy, speculating as to why he would have to rebuild his helmet? Is it an image thing, or is there more physical or spiritual applications here? Yeah,
again, I think this is the reestablishment of the greater evil of who he thinks he is, and assuming his place as the rightful heir of the darkness, like we've talked about a couple of times. And I think this is I liked it. I thought showing the rebuild, I think is going to be it'll be interesting to see the context of is there something moving him forward? I think this is where you kind of go back to, is he the actual villain of the story or not? If something is making him do this, or that is compelling him to do it, or is this just him getting ready for battle of sorts?
Michael? I don't know. I think he kind of likes the damaged look because he's damaged. Obviously, he's cross-guard with the damaged crystal and everything. So I think that's kind of his motif. Is it for some spiritual reason to keep someone out of his head? I don't know. Maybe that's a good who knows?
That was where my theory was going. I know it sounds very X-Men-ish, but I just can't think of a practical reason why he would rebuild, apart from just trying to say, look, I want to go back to who I was trying to be, right? That kind of thing, which I would get. But it just seems like he could just recreate a new helmet, right?
Well, yeah, true. You do that. But is this more of a, for him just being less personal? Because he did that with Rey. Like he took the helmet off and he was more personal with people. Now he's kind of piecing it back together. He wants to be back to what he was. Like you said, Jonesy. So,
well, is it a metaphor too, right?
Yeah.
That he's pieced himself back together. He's no longer the fractured little boy that he was, and now he has
symbolism. Yeah,
yeah.
I agree
And so
with you on that.
he's escalated to where he was supposed to be the whole time.
Yeah, but I definitely like, and it goes back to what Luke says to him. Always,
See you around, kid.
See you around, kid. Like I'm gonna want you till the end of time, type of thing. Like his father, and maybe all those things are coming to him. So he puts it on, or maybe even if Sidious is around doing some crazy stuff, then maybe maybe that's the reason to put the helmet on. Just keep him out of your head. I don't know. It's an interesting
it could go a
thought.
couple different ways.
Yeah, there's a few different avenues.
I like to think that he's infused somehow with some kind of force ability, force power, and that's kind of helping keep the voices out kind of thing. But I guess
Or is it to keep his connection with Rey off or
maybe
something? I mean,
maybe
although he wants it, he wanted that connection. I don't know if obviously she shut the whole door there, but I don't know. We'll see.
That would be interesting if there was still something still lingering between the two.
Well, they
of
dodged
them.
that.
Yeah. But even if there still was, is there something like you said they're actively avoiding and trying to, keep the disconnection?
Yeah.
Or is there something that finally brings them back together?
I think that's the case with the whole jumping on the type. I would like to see that though. That's going to be kind of a cool move if that's the completion of that shot, or we don't even get that at all.
Right. One minor note that I took on that shot, the way the camera is moving there, it doesn't feel like that is a shot that we're going to get a lot of context around. In other words, maybe it's a flashback kind of shot. There's a narrative, someone's talking over, they're cutting over, and you get to see it happening. But I don't think it would be weird that we would actually get to see him rebuilding that. I mean, maybe unless it's a plot, right? Something that's going to move the plot forward or something add to the storyline. But just the way it was filmed, it doesn't appear to be that way. And of course, it's all of about 2 seconds. So
yeah, sure.
Don't hold me to that. Well, next shot, we got Poe and Rey. Poe standing up. I'm sorry, Poe and Finn. I'm still kind of blown away by the whole who's in love with who thing from the panel.
But there's a whole lot going on there, and we didn't get any answers. So we're going to be a whole year of who's who.
But this looks to be on either that same desert planet or another desert planet. Maybe it's Jakku. I guess we'll come and find out. But I guess the one interesting that you pointed out is the staff.
Yeah, Finn's holding Rey's staff, which was a little bit of a surprise.
I don't even remember seeing that.
Yeah,
see, I'm gonna have
you could just see the very top of it on the edge of the frame.
Yeah. Thank you, Albert. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, but that staff is there, so and which would make sense, I guess, right? I mean, we saw. Well, so let's go back real quick. In the pictures that we saw, there was a moment there where Rey was holding a staff,
stick.
literally.
It was a stick. It was a stick.
Yeah, Daisy's like, "This is me and my stick."
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is interesting that she would carry that for what in the movie at all, given that she has a lightsaber. So.
I don't know if that might be a reference for like a photo or something, like for the shot or itself, and they didn't use. I don't know. I don't think that's going to be in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't think, but
it does bring up the question: why does Finn have this?
Well, she clearly doesn't need a staff anymore.
Yeah, she might not even need a lightsaber, to be honest. But
right, yeah, we didn't really talk about that. They cleared up the whole lightsaber thing pretty quick.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like I didn't see any like pieced together thing.
No,
or
it
anything.
looked pretty intact. Like
it was just like given to her, and it was brand spanking new.
Right. So is it even a real scene?
Yeah.
Or is it?
But that's true.
Another vision.
Is it a vision type of thing? I don't know. We've got so many questions now. Thanks, JJ. We didn't get any answers. Now we're all speculation train. Here we come.
Right. But that scene with Foe. I'm already doing it with Finn and Poe. That appears to still be the same planet. We see a chase scene, and then later on,
yeah. So I'm assuming
when the whole team is assembled too with Rey.
Yeah, but is Rey separated, or did she take Kylo out of that section of the fight to do what she had to do? That's kind of where I'm thinking. If that's the case, it could be a whole, because you got to ask yourself, all right, they're on the desert world. Okay. They're all together, but then they're all together with wherever the Death Star is at the end there. So is this even the movie? Which one's real? Which one's not real? I don't know. But
yeah, I start skewing a little bit closer to Force Vision with Kylo and the silencer.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I did like the fact that JJ mentioned that this was a group adventure, which is good because I do like there's something about there's a formula for Star Wars where we get these multiple fronts, right? Yeah. We've had a lot of that. But I would like, especially coming off of The Last Jedi, to kind of see them all play off each other. And and that's one of the things, right? Right or wrong, good or bad, we didn't really get a whole lot of that in the original trilogies, right? Even when we got that one of the more special moments for me in Return of the Jedi was when Luke finally came in and they were all reunited.
Yeah.
And C-3PO makes that comment about being, exciting, that kind of thing. That was a very special moment. So it would be nice to see that kind of just happen throughout this movie from beginning to end. But I don't know. We'll see if that comes up. Let's talk about the two little droids, and especially the new droid, Dio.
Yeah, Dio. Yeah.
Thoughts on Dio? Cute.
He's cute and little.
Yeah.
We've got another one.
I just want to know when we're going to use R2 again. That's my one complaint. Everything else was good. I just feel bad for R2, especially.
Did we see R2 at all?
Yeah, he was on the
No,
Well, he was on the panel.
No.
I mean,
He was on the panel, but not in the trailer.
Not in the
we saw 3PO. But yeah, we did not see R2 again.
I know.
Yeah.
Is he dead? I don't know. Is he destroyed?
Just on low power.
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of. So when Dio rolled out on Celebration Set, I thought it was he's cool looking, right?
Yeah.
What I can't figure out is what is his purpose.
Yeah,
like the astromech droids, you get BB-8. Okay, fine, we got that.
Is it like Rose's droid or something? Which would be cool if she had her own fin, maybe.
I mean, we've got mouse droids; they have a purpose, but it just given his design, he's got one wheel, he's got a head that looks like a microphone. What does he yell at? I don't. It's just it's odd. I don't know.
I wonder if he's connected with the supposed Lando's daughter. There, I forget the character's name off the
Jano.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And the actress who's playing her, I love her. She's awesome. She's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I maybe it's her droid. It's a possibility because it seems like they're going to 3 planets. They're going to the desert world, obviously wherever the heck the Death Star is, and then this other planet with this woman that they're going to meet up with. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah.
All right. So arguably, one of the scenes that got the biggest applause is the very next scene where we get the interior shot of the Millennium Falcon.
Yes.
From behind, you get Chewie's reaching up, getting ready to punch the hyperdrive, or put the coordinates in, whatever he's doing there. And then camera cuts around, and we get that first image of Lando looking about as happy as he possibly can be in the Millennium Falcon. So
I almost hear in the back of his mind, he's reunited with L3 and then laughing because saying, "Ha, I won her in the end, Han." Like I could kind of, but I think Han would want it that way if that was the case. Him and Chewie running the show. But is it still Rey's, or did she give him the ship? Well, I want to know how that whole works out.
Yeah, to keep the Falcon and Chewie involved. Clearly, she's not going to be on it the entire time because that's not super interesting.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I think this goes back to Albert's point where we're still there's a formula to Star Wars, and we're still going to have multiple fronts. And so to have Lando involved in a different way.
And I think this is what's been missing with the sequel trilogy is the core group needs to get together to be the buddies. You know what I mean? Like we had in A New Hope, we had that moment. Like in The Force Awakens, we never had the group all there together. You had Finn and Rey. And then the next one, it was kind of, it just broke apart. You know what I mean? It kind of, they all went in different directions. Now it's nice that it's almost like reverse, which is not a bad thing. Right. But I definitely like that decision.
Yeah. And so, I don't think I really have anything new to add outside that I did like seeing Lando that happy. And I think a lot of it is probably just the nostalgia of
he got the biggest applause. That was the biggest.
Yeah. But in this moment, though, as a character, I think being back in the Falcon, 1 is obviously exciting. 2, being back next to Chewbacca is exciting. But the element that it almost feels like the more emotional moment for this character is that L3 and him have been reunited. And you almost get the sense that he's excited because L3 is performing again, right? Or maybe she's doing things for him. No, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, well,
she's doing things.
We
for
don't want
him.
to go there. That's a whole other podcast
in a really emotional way. So that's got to be it.
But now let me ask you this: is it cheesy that he's wearing like the same stuff we saw him in Solo, like the yellow shirt
style? I mean, I
think it works.
Well, it's fine, the style, but is it bad that he kind of went back in same outfit? Or
no,
like
my dad has worn my dad's style has not changed in like 25 years, right?
Yeah, I get. Well, my style is like jeans and a t-shirt, so I guess it's just maybe we caught him on the day we wore the one that he wore 40 years ago or something, but that's okay.
But it was terrific fun to see the excitement, like in his face, we did in Jedi, right? It was very reminiscent of the scene. I kind of expected the yeehaw.
I hope so.
And the moment
that's a high register to get to anymore.
That's true.
He's an older gentleman.
Yeah, that's true.
The moment we don't see that I think we will get is the minute he walks onto the Falcon and has that personal moment with
like Luke did. And Han. The three of them, technically.
Right. And one of the stills we had was him exiting the cockpit. And again, just happy
smile,
face, smile on his face.
Yeah.
Like it's probably more of a publicity still.
I don't know. Sometimes it's like with Harrison did that with that shot. I remember when The Force Awakens came out and he was reunited, and
Right,
I think
yeah.
even the actors realized the importance of it and remember what happened when they filmed it and stuff. So,
Well, it's cool. It would be cool to have it in each of the 3 movies, right? We
Yeah.
had it with Han and Force Awakens. We had it with Luke and
it would be
Last
nice if we
Jedi.
had it with Leia though, because we got her in the ship
Yeah.
at the end there, but it would have been nice to have
Right.
that kind of special moment of her. Maybe we will in this. Maybe she goes in the cockpit and there's a moment. I hope there is or
Yeah.
something. I'm curious how that's all going to work out because what we see seems to go very well, and I'll agree with JJ on that. So far, we haven't seen anything other than we have.
Yeah, we got it in the books, but to have it on screen would be something else entirely.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So from there, we get the words "the saga comes to an end." So that was kind of real for me when I
it hit
saw
me.
that.
Yeah, that
Like, this is it.
Yeah,
I got it at that moment in the trailer, but I also got it when it really hadn't dawned on me until JJ and Kathleen Kennedy came out
They
and were
even
talking
said,
about
yeah.
it, and it just, I don't know, it was very sobering that this is the end of the trilogy. We're not going to see it. Thoughts? Same feelings here?
Trying not to think about it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I get a little emotional at that point because we've all invested, all of us, most of our lives since we were kids, and even the new generations and stuff. So, and then you say, you're done after this. It's kind of like, oh, I don't think so. I think 10, 15 years they'll say, nah, we're going to, because it'll make money. So, but it is it's a hard one to take when you think about it. It's like, but then again, we're used to not having Star Wars around for a while, like our generation. The new kids, not so much. They keep getting one every year or so, but more on that another show because this whole thing they're doing with
They
that.
keep teasing what the actual story, what the actual movies look like going forward. But that's a different day.
We go back to the desert planet now. There's obviously some kind of big chase scene that's going on. It's really hard to see. So I guess the two things that stood out is we've heard rumors of C-3PO firing a weapon of sorts. It looks like he is holding something there. That stood out. And then at first glance, I saw something white projectiling out, and I thought that's a stormtrooper, right? But then I saw a light blue color. I have not had a chance because we're doing this fresh off the trailer, but I think you've had a chance to pause it, Jonesy. What did that look like?
Yeah, initially I thought it was just another speeder.
I thought it was just another jet or something, like a ship or something.
But clearly it was a jet or a jump trooper or whatever you want to call it, and it looked like it was blue markings on the armor, though. Yeah, I don't think it was just the jet. Jet wash. I think it was actually the markings on the armor. So so again, a new type of trooper, which again is great. I mean,
we'll see that at the next celebration, I'm sure.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, we've had jump troopers in
Rebels.
Legends.
Right.
Well, we had them in Rebels. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, my bad. We've seen them in Battlefront 2, obviously. In the game, you can play as those guys as well. So
some variations in Resistance, I think.
Yeah,
true.
Well, more scuba, but yeah, you could see the premise filtering through the different medias.
Let's talk about the Medallion of Bravery.
Yes.
We've not
got a little emotional on that one too.
We've not seen it since New Hope.
New Hope,
right? And then obviously that's a very climactic moment in that movie itself. We make really there's no reference to it, and yet we have what looks to be Leia maybe holding the medallions.
Oh, that's definitely her. Yeah, I think so. What other character would have that emotion other than Luke? Have that or Chewie? Because he'd be like, "Well, I finally get one." Is he going to steal it and put it on his own neck? No. So it's like finally I got it. But yeah, I definitely that's got to be Leia doing that, which would make sense because back when they did The Force Awakens, I'm sure there was a moment where they filmed her touching the metal or something like that, thinking of the old days or whatever. And it would fit here where she's probably thinking of Han. So maybe we do get that moment on the Falcon because it's probably on the Falcon with the ball that we had, the weapon there that he was using, Luke was using.
Yeah. And this is something where if you see hands or backs of heads, you can create new scenes that seamlessly integrate with what you already have face on, where we can actually see Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
And be able to create something totally different out of it.
Yeah.
And I think these are these creative shots that they can do that'll really make the story something special.
And then immediately following that scene, we have what looks to be Rey and Leia hugging each other. We get to see Leia's face from front, flips around the back, and doesn't look like it's really her. It looks like that's a double, but that's okay. But the question is really about Rey. She seems to be crying.
Right.
Are these tears over one of her personal friends, or is this a moment, do you think, where they've gotten together and have been talking about Luke, their first moment after Luke's passed?
Well, that's a confusing one because in The Last Jedi, they seem to be very at peace with what happens with Luke.
True.
I mean,
True.
Leia kind of a little more shaken, but Rey reassures her and gives her that peace, which might be why she's hugging her because Rey kind of seems to center maybe Leia or give her that comfort, if you will. So it's very curious what that could be. I don't know what that, because they look like they're on, I want to say a jungle planet almost, or something like that. So where are they, and what's the situation where she would be crying? Is she just reuniting with Leia after a long time?
Or did something happen with Ben?
Maybe that's so. Maybe she killed Ben. I don't know. We'll see. She flips over and kills him and puts the saber through the cockpit. I don't know. It's curious. That's a curious scene. I don't know if that'll even be in the movie. I don't think that.
Yeah, it's very difficult to try to qualify what she's upset about, or is she upset?
Yeah,
kind of looks like she's
tears
upset.
of joy. Yeah, it looks like she's upset. I don't think we ever got tears of joy in Star Wars. We always get them, the real tear jerkers.
Right.
So, and then finally we get to the final scene here, and this is where we get to see the group shot here: Rey, Poe, 3PO, Chewie, BB-8, Deal. They're all standing there. Pans over to the right. We see the oceans, the rolling oceans, and what looks to be a Death Star. Or parts of a Death Star. So, question, and I'm going to throw this out there. So,
and right before that, though, we did get another Luke quote. We got the "We'll always be with you."
Yeah,
right,
and that's where we got the group shot, which very poetic, I assume.
Yes.
But so Death Star, is this Death Star 1? Is this Death Star 2? Or, as we've talked about on the show, we know Palpatine may have had multiple of these. There was always a contingency, right? I think we know that the second one was already in process of being built when the first one was destroyed.
Yeah.
Could this be a third one?
I thought it was initially that. But then as was talking to Jonesy before, when he was doing his research here before we went on air here, I kind of think it's Endor, because I looked up Endor and there was oceans on Endor. I took a look at the planet there, or the moon, and it seems possible, because we even speculated Yavin, and I'm like, nah, it doesn't seem like it fits. It's more jungly, it's not as oceany, but the forest of Endor seems to be a better fit. But I kind of like the idea of there being it's government, and government usually buys multiple things, and why not have like a fourth, a third, or whatever? Mm-hmm. And it just fell apart because obviously the Empire fell apart, and it was in the process of being built. Because like we had said in A New Hope, it was obliterated. And I know you said, well, realistically, there would be chunks of pieces, but that's a big piece. I mean, that's not a little piece. And you got to think of it. That was like a small moon, basically, and it's sitting in an ocean. I don't know the scale. I got to go back and look at that just to get a kind of
tough. Yeah, it could still be perspective, right?
Yeah,
it was really all we got was just what was immediately around the dish and just a little bit of the dish. I thought it was cool that it looked like a hole was in the dish.
Yeah,
so I thought that was pretty neat. But yeah, you can't really tell which one it is because there's just not enough on.
If I had to guess, I would say number 2.
I think if Palpatine is back.
Yeah. And then you got Lando as well, that connection with it. So
well, and don't forget, we got the line, "No one's ever really gone," right at that moment, followed by the cackle. So that, I mean, if that's a deliberate way to kind of tie it back to the second Death Star, I don't know if they could have made that any more obvious. But sorry, Finn.
No, and I think if Palpatine's back, then the second Death Star seems to be way more likely, right? Because he wasn't on the first one.
Yes.
And there's no connection with it. There's no connection to Yavin 4 or anything like that, right?
Exactly.
So it seems to be more likely if this is still around.
The only thing that would give Yavin that the
Jedi Temple type of
aspect. Jedi Temple and Poe being from there, and Poe maybe taking them there.
The Force Tree.
Yeah, the Force Tree, that whole thing. But I don't think that's where I think if you could bring in Sidious back into the whole equation here, and I got a lot of speculation on that. I mean, we'll get into that later, I guess.
Right? Yeah. So I guess to tie it to the first Death Star, I think you guys make great points. The medallion, you can make an argument that that's a way to tie it back, right? That can make it. But my money is probably on the second Death Star.
But does it matter really at the end of the day? Does that matter?
And you're right. So here's the thing. They're obviously searching. They look to be looking for something, right? Something among the wreckage. So we may have a MacGuffin here. That's been rumored and speculated. They're going after something. They've been looking for something. What could possibly, let's think about this. So what could possibly exist on the second Death Star that they would be in search of?
I think one of the more obvious ones might be a Kyber, right? We've had a lot of interest in the Kyber crystals.
No, that's true.
Throughout.
That's what powers the Death Star.
What about Vader's lightsaber?
It's a possibility.
Why would that have any significance?
Yeah, something would be like, what is powerful enough to draw everyone towards it?
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the tough question.
Is it something that's keeping Palpatine in the equation? Because he was on there and it might
be him, right?
Yeah.
It could be his presence is drawing everyone towards it.
True.
And that's the greatest evil type of thing that JJ.
It was Kathleen. She said that's the greatest evil. She said, "Are they ready? Are they prepared?" Is the question that she asked.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll probably dive into that or dig into that more over the next few weeks here. But that's the part that is killing me. What could they possibly be going?
Yeah, because I know you and I go through the spoilers quite often, and we speculate a bit, but I haven't thought of anything. What could be the real MacGuffin in this, and what would be? I'm thinking of the past films. I'm like, all right, well, what could they do? You know, obviously it's connected to Sidious, which was kind of rumored in 8 originally. I recall them saying something about Sidious. Maybe there was a scene with him, a hologram or something like that. But
some of the art, suggested something, right?
Exactly, yeah. So I'm very curious. I wasn't even. He wasn't even on my radar, and you hear that cackle, and I lost my mind. That was.
I probably said a couple things I'm not allowed to say on air.
Yeah, no,
I don't think Albert got them on video.
I didn't put the bleep button in the board here, so don't do that.
No, yeah, when the cackling, and then of course we got the title.
Yeah,
and it was just like no way, right? Yeah. No way that we're going back to this, and this is something that people. I think this is going to get people going crazy.
Oh yeah,
this is what they wanted.
It went crazy up there. It was nuts. Because none of us saw that coming. That was almost like a jaw dropping kind of moment. Because Joe, he was right next to me. He's like, "Oh, your guy's back." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, I'm all excited, but we just weren't expecting that.
You are kidding me, right?
Yeah, I was like, what?
That there were 2 moments that got a physical reaction from me. It was one, the Kelly Marie Tran standing ovation.
Yeah, that was special. Yep.
Actually choked me up for a minute there. I thought I was going to lose it. But then honestly, it was the cackle. Yeah, the cackle. It's just not expecting this at all.
Then because Discord's hopping.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
I know because I am too. Now you're getting me excited. But Discord's all in a rage right now. As before I came on, everyone's yakking about it. I got people texting me, asking me about this. Some people didn't like the trailer, which I found crazy because even me, the guy that didn't like The Last Jedi all that much, I found this very satisfying. So I'm very excited. Finally, again. So it's a beautiful thing. But yeah.
But now's the question.
Yeah. So we got the title, The Rise of Skywalker. Jonesy, I won't steal your thunder.
Come on. I was going to give it to you.
Which Skywalker? Who are we talking about here? Which Skywalker is risen here?
Rey.
Jonesy?
Oh, man. I don't want to say Ben. I really don't.
That would be the most logical. And it's probably true, but he's technically a solo. So I don't know. I'm all over the place. Is this a new one? Is this Luke? Is this Luke and Anakin just coming together to do what was meant to be done with the prophecy? I don't know.
And is it not a singular person?
Yeah.
Is it Rise of Skywalker as a body of some sorts?
Yeah. Right. Good point. It could be just the
because like Luke says, we've passed on our knowledge, so go with it. So it's the embodiment of that entity, I guess you could say. And maybe Sidious is the counter of that. You know what I mean? Because he's obviously somehow in the picture here.
Well, I manipulated this thing from the start on some level, right?
Oh, of course. That's how he works. My man.
I mean, when I saw that, the first thing that came to mind was Anakin. I don't know why, but
listen, if he's back, then the chosen one has to come back and do what he was meant to
fulfill
do.
The prophecy.
Fulfill it.
Yeah, very biblical, right?
Because as I was going to say with Discord, people are already saying, well, this is poo-poo on Luke and Anakin's destiny from the Return of the Jedi and all that. And I said, well, first off, we need more answers. We need more stuff.
More
we need to see the damn film, right? That's before we can finally say, this is that. I don't think this poo-poo's on anyone's thing right now. It remains to be determined.
And that's why I think in order to not do that, I think, you bring it into more, what did they say at the early stages of this trilogy? It was all about family.
Yeah.
Right. So why not let it mean more than one person?
Yeah.
And if Rey's part of that, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. But can it be bigger than just a single person, a single chosen one, if you will?
Yeah.
It is a
Well, then it goes
chosen
back
family
to
almost.
that early speculation with I think it was the Force Awakens, where they were saying that Rey is actually like the embodied, like Anakin, like the reincarnation of Anakin or something like that. Which makes you wonder what happened with Snoke. What is going on there? He's just like completely wiped off the map there.
Well, but I think this is an opportunity to help explain some of that though too, right?
Oh,
I think with Palpatine, you have an opportunity to work Snoke back into that story. Hopefully, it's not Snoke specifically, but but you'll be able to backfill that a bit.
Yeah, kind of connect the dots here. So we didn't. So I think going into this, one of the questions that we had tossed around, one of the things that we were trying to speculate on is how JJ would be able to tie all of the 8 movies prior to, and there wasn't anything, at least in the few viewings I've had, that made me think that they're going to be able to tie it back. But if they do bring back somebody like an Anakin Skywalker, or they somehow find a way to tie even like somebody like Padme. But any thoughts around what they could do at this point to kind of bring it back to the prequel trilogy?
Well, I think Palpatine is the key at this point.
Yeah.
If you're going to bring Anakin back, what better way? Like you guys were saying previously,
because that's the only thing that would bring him back out of his piece or whatever he's resolved whatever issues he had. That's the only thing. Or to save even Luke, if that there's some people that have speculated. They've texted me and says this is going to bring Luke back, because obviously if Palpatine's found the way to cheat death, and Anakin would definitely know what it is. He's the chosen one. Is he going to bring Luke back and say, like I even speculated before, I said it would be pretty cool if he's like, no, your time's not now, and he throws him back into the whole mix. But time has gone by. I don't think that's going to work at all.
Right.
So who knows? Unless Luke really is alive and we don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of questions, but
right. But you're able to do it because you're able to get. Will we get something from Palpatine that says, here is what has been, this is what I've been doing for the last 40, 50, whatever, how many years we're going through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume he's going to reveal all. Like he's going to monologue.
Yeah, he's going to monologue.
He's going to monologue because that's what evil
epic
do.
villain.
Yeah, epic villain
monologue.
I hope it is, because I mean, first off, Ian's too good not to let him do the Emperor.
God, yeah.
Let him go with it. Because what he does in Return of the Jedi with him and Luke, that whole throne room scene is great. That whole dynamic, that them talking was excellent. Now, hopefully we get more of that, but it might be with Rey and whoever else. I don't know. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, what do you think, Albert?
So I was going to ask you a question, actually. So just on the surface alone, going into this, we had heard balance of the Force. We heard will of the Force. We heard the Skywalkers at one point, which maybe that was kind of close. So someone got something right there. But just on the surface alone, are you happy with the trailer name? I'm sorry, the name of the movie.
I think so. It's difficult to always say because we don't always know what the meaning is until after it's come out.
Right. Kind of like The Last Jedi.
Right. Yeah. Which
we speculated all day long on that.
It's not going to really go the way we think.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
It certainly didn't.
Right.
Thank you, JJ.
But yeah,
Brian.
so Rise of Skywalker, you don't, again, we don't know which one we're talking about, or we're talking about multiple of them. But I think if you want to tie the whole saga together, I think it really is a very, I'm not going to use the word perfect, and I don't mean it.
Yeah, but it's perfect in the sense if this is the end of the saga, then
so.
Go with it.
It is the Skywalker saga.
Yeah, so just end it.
And it's really odd, the rise when you're
because that's not
off.
completion of
right.
You know what I mean? So what is that? That's the thing. Like, and I was coming down here and I heard people chatting because everyone was abuzz.
Yeah.
I was coming down here to meet you guys, and one of them says, "Well, how can it be Rise of Skywalker? They're all dead, really. There's Leia's there.
Well, it's because it's a Rise.
Well, yeah,
they're coming back.
So, well, is there a baby involved somewhere? I don't know, but I mean that's rumored, but I don't think that's gonna be the case.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Is it Jonas's son? Is he gonna be the
right?
Is it the Wookiee child? Is that the prophecy? I don't know.
But Mike, for you, the trailer name or the title of the movie, okay with that?
I'm satisfied with it. I'm surprised because I thought when I see Skywalker in the title, I kind of like, nah, it's not,
a little too obvious, right?
It's too, but it is vague because it's the rise of the Skywalker. So it continues the vagueness. And you're like, all right, now we got to speculate for like almost a year.
Yeah. Well, and they kept saying this was the end of the Skywalker saga. So they could not have made that any more
obvious,
clear, obvious to call it that. So I think they have mission accomplished on that front. Sorry, you were going to say something?
No, I was just agreeing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So.
No, wait, hold on. Come on, man.
What's that?
What do you think? Give us your overall impression here.
On the name?
Yeah.
Yeah, name.
The name. So my needs are very simple. I think I went into this, maybe it was in Discord, I said it, maybe it was on a show, but I like the fact that the third movie in the prequel trilogy was Revenge, ROTS, and Return of the Jedi was ROTJ, and I'm getting very something similar here with the Rise of Skywalker, I get ROS. So my needs have been met. I'm actually fine with the title just on that alone, nothing else.
Just so we can abbreviate it in Discord.
Just so it has the same. I like things to be patterns and so whatever. I'm weird, but yeah, that seems to be okay with me.
And it's not the same initials in any kind of way.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I do like it's the most personal title of any of the movies.
Yeah,
you could argue A New Hope to some extent because that was specifically talking about Luke in that moment, but. it is definitely the most personal one because it's proper noun.
I like that because even with A New Hope at the time, it wasn't personal at all, right?
Yeah.
But you're right. This one we've got we really got 10 movies, including Solo and Rogue One.
Yeah.
That ties this whole galaxy together.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to just quickly touch on some of the new characters that we saw? We talked about Jana. I thought her costume was awesome looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Naomi Aki is just a cool person.
Yeah, I thought she was awesome. I love the costume, and then the whole teasing of Lando's daughter, and I love what she
she's
said.
got those
though.
colors.
Yeah, she said, "Well, Lando gets around." I just that was it's like, yeah, I could see that. Maybe it was. Then I started thinking of Finn. I'm like, no,
there were a lot of those suggestive references.
There was a lot of innuendos going on.
Yeah, the best part of her making that comment about Lando was Billy D sitting there just nodding his head like, that's exactly
you got
right.
me.
Finally, someone recognizes.
Yes, someone's got me.
Jana, we talked about Dio as one of the new characters. Anything else that stood out? What about Claude? KLAD. That's a big alien thing that was shown next to.
I don't know why. It reminds me of that Vader teddy bear thing that was in The Force Awakens. Really, it's also in the background cleaning in the Resistance, the teddy bear looking.
Oh
thing.
right, yeah.
It's one of those
Forget
characters.
his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. He's actually
that character.
Yeah, but he creates those kind of monsters that are. It made me think of your buddy Showclop or whatever that worm thing was.
Worm thing from Last Jedi.
Yeah, that thing. I'm cool with it. I just don't see what the purpose. Chewie supposedly brings him into this.
I imagine he's some sort of plot device to move them where they need to go and show them what they need to see.
Yeah, I'm surprised Chewie doesn't eat him.
Yeah, friend of the Resistance, I think is what they said in the panel.
Yeah.
One thing that I thought was funny was during Anthony Daniels was the droids fight back.
Which made me think
We've seen some
stuff,
leaks
material,
that suggest that
material, yeah,
that 3PO's had enough.
Yeah.
And maybe this was some confirmation that 3PO really has had enough.
Yeah.
Question though, does he yell at the crew? Like, does he finally snap and just lose it?
I think it'd be great because I would love to see 3PO be like, "That's it, I've had enough. No one's listening to me."
This is
Put
50
his
some
foot
odd
down
years
and things
and-
go right.
Yeah.
I think it'd be like a redemption.
But you
arc
need
for him.
but R2 better be there for that moment.
Right,
Because
yeah.
R2's got to say something sarcastic to him, and then they're going to have their moment. But
R2's had all the glory for all these movies, right?
Well, I would like R2 to kind of give him a congratulation type
3PO
thing.
is definitely right in the thick of things, right? He's on the skiff.
Yeah.
And he's
Well, that
also,
was another good thing. I'm glad they were on a skiff again.
right.
Very Return of the Jedi. I asked you, was Lando on it? Because it happened so quick, and he's
really
not
fast.
on there. So I don't know who's on there. Who is on there anyway? Other than
Jonesy.
Finn, Poe, and 3PO definitely.
Okay, all right.
And it looks like there was maybe another speeder chasing him. I'm assuming that's another trooper
Yeah,
because it kind of dodged a
yeah.
pothole.
Let me quickly about R2. Let's just assume he gets relegated to a kind of a minor role, right? Kind of in the wings. Is that blow softened if he is there to comfort Leia and is with Leia through most of the scenes?
I don't know. I really don't know. I hope he's actually Rey's droid. To be honest, I hope he goes with her. I think that would happen. He would just tag along. I think that there's a possibility of that. I don't know. They didn't show anything, so this is only a teaser. It's not the real trailer, so who knows what's what.
Yeah. I'd like to see more R2. I wanted that in both Part 7 and Part 8.
Yeah.
Didn't really get it so much, and that's okay. He had his moments, obviously, in the prequel trilogies.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we saw him in the originals. But yeah, for me, I guess I'm answering my own question here. I think it would be okay for me because I think if there's anybody left that he would be paired up, apart from C-3PO, which it doesn't look like it's going to be, then I'd want him to be with Leia.
If it's the end of the saga, you got to pair the two up again.
Yeah.
And if they're both going out in this, they should be together as well, going out in the blaze of glory.
Right. Since we're talking about Leia, how are we feeling about her chances of
I think
living on beyond this movie?
I think she lives.
I think so too.
I don't think so.
You don't think she lives?
Because if it's the end of it all, but then again, the Rise of the Skywalker. So what are we doing after this? Where are we going from this? Where do we go?
Yeah.
Like it's a rise. So there's obviously going to be a continuation of some sort. But this is the end of the Skywalker. So where are we going?
But the heroes have to win, right?
Well, of course they're going to win. Yeah, that's the whole
so
point.
someone's
especially-
going to survive.
Yeah, well, but is it Rey? Is it Ben? We're
Right.
going to be doing this. We're going to be flipping coins for the next 6, 7, 8 months or whatever we got till,
Tune in episode.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the luxury of it all, the thing that about Leia is, I could go either way. I think they've done enough for her, even with what's happened to her in real life. I think they've done enough for me that if she lives on, I'll be happy, and if they end it, I'll be just as happy as well. I don't really have a strong opinion.
I think I'm good either way.
Right.
If she goes, I think I'll be more at peace because her character's final and complete like Luke, and I can live with the twins kind of ending, and that's closed and no one else is going to play her or there's going to be anything else like that. I think I can live with that better. But I'm also fine with her. If any character out of the original trilogy deserves to live in peace and retirement, it's definitely Leia.
Right.
I mean, she's gone through so much and comforted so many other people when devastating things happen. And she's got a lot of things going on. And she was the one that was strong and was there for Luke and everybody else. It's maybe she deserves that retirement of just sitting out in Yavin and just looking at the Force tree, I guess.
Right.
All right, Mike, before we wrap this up, final thoughts on what you saw today and just the overall experience being up there on the floor.
The experience was just like it was in Anaheim. It's electric. If you go to Celebration, you at least got to experience that type of thing, which is why I'm glad you guys got to go in the room and experience what we once experienced in Anaheim and stuff.
Yeah.
And I got to experience that with Joe and Will and Twan up there. It was great. It was a fun moment. That's what makes Celebration great. And I'm glad you guys got to experience it. So it ranks up there pretty high with me with the moment. The trailer itself, I'm hopeful. I'm excited. There's a lot of speculating. Back on that speculation thing, so I'm excited. I'm going to be annoying everyone in Discord now. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Jonesy.
Yeah, I thought it delivered. We talked about it a few weeks ago. This is what we needed, I think, across the fandom of something that gets us really energized and excited. We got a lot of astounding imagery overall. And to see images of the Death Star and to get the Emperor cackling, and we get Luke doing the voiceover narration, I think I'm hoping this is going to bring everybody on board and really get everyone's excited. Yeah, and the experience of being there, especially with you, Albert, being able to kind of do this together when the lights went down. I mean, just this anticipation and your heart starts pounding, and then they had a technical difficulty or a little delay of getting it going. It kind of sapped a little bit, but as soon as it came on and the crowd, you just can't replace those moments. Those are you can hardly describe them half the time. Right?
Yeah, you just have to experience, which is why I told you guys you just got to do it to get what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
How about you, Albert?
So I would echo everything you guys have just said. It was pretty electrifying to be there in the state auditorium that we were in. I thought the energy levels were great. Enjoyed the panel. I think we mentioned the first part of the panel was really good. The second part, not so much, but that's not any kind of...
That's nobody's fault, really.
No feedback on
just,
the actors or anything. It's just they really were kind of in a...
Show me the trailer.
Yeah, right.
That's at that point, it's like...
Right, 10 minutes till, I was just like, okay, let's wrap this up because I'm ready to see the trailer. But in terms of overall, the experience of watching the trailer, being able to have Ian McDiarmid come out and say, roll it again...
That was amazing.
It was amazing. I'll never forget that moment. Seeing it even the second time was great. I think one of the things that I mentioned to you going into it was that we tend to watch these trailers because of the show.
Right.
We don't really get to enjoy them as an experience as a fan, right? I'm the entire time taking notes and trying to think about what I'm going to talk about.
Too analytical. That's the problem. But then when you get into the fan part, like this part, it's a magical moment and it's awesome.
Yeah, so I think it's to be determined in terms of where this sits with me emotionally. I will say that I'm pretty happy with the trailer. Visually, I liked it. I think it's opened up a lot of questions and didn't really answer anything, and that's okay. I want that.
Oh, you want that? I think the fandom needs that.
We need that right now.
We've missed that for a while.
And I'm hopeful. I really think there's been so much toxicity with the fandom over the last 2 years now. I think we've all gotten to a point where things are better.
Yeah.
And I think we can move past it. And I think this movie is going to do that. I don't know that anybody has any doubt of faith in J.J. Abrams to deliver. We've always said it. He's got a huge task. If there probably is any one person that could deliver that, it's going to be him. Seeing Kathleen Kennedy up there talk about he is the biggest fan. He's super excited about this. Reinforces that hope in me that he's going to be able to do it. So,
well, the trailer did it for me. Not so much what they were talking about, but the trailer did. You showed me instead of told me, so that worked for me.
So I'm very, very happy at this point with it all.
Yeah, it just goes to show you something. If you get into leaked photos and things like that, nothing replaces seeing the real thing once you have a semi-finished product in front of you.
Absolutely.
Because if you were to take it based on leaked footage alone of a screenshot here or there, or blurry cam, it just doesn't do it justice.
Yeah,
and you should go down these paths and they just aren't acceptable. And this is how you should see it. This is how you should experience it. And so, very thankful to have that opportunity.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Cantina Cast. Thank you guys for joining us. Just as a reminder, tomorrow at 11 a.m., Saturday, April 13th, we will be on the podcast stage here at McCormick Place West. We are in West 193 A and B. It's the podcaster stage. We would love it if you guys could all join us down there. We've got some swag that we're going to hand out if that's not enough for you. But we'd love to see you guys in there to support the show. So thank you all.
Yep, take care, everyone.
Thank you. You're still listening? Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm here to give you the disclaimer. Normally we do a big, long, drawn-out disclaimer thing saying what's what and who's what and all that other stuff, but I think you guys kind of know that Lucasfilm and Disney have no affiliation with us at all, and we have none with them. We talk about Star Wars, which is their property and all that other good, fun stuff, but I think you can tell which is our stuff and which is their stuff. If you can't, well, then send a lawyer to send an email to me, and I'll be glad to chat with them. Other than that, you know what's what, so that's your disclaimer.